On Saturday, April 4th, 2015, just prior to midnight, the Calgary Police Service received a call that a Calgary Police Service patrol rifle was stolen out of a private vehicle as it was parked in the 100 block of Crowfoot Crossing, Northwest Calgary. A off-duty officer took their assigned patrol rifle from the district office to their residence. On the way to the residence, they stopped off at an establishment at Crowfoot Crossing. While at Crowfoot Crossing, the vehicle was prowled and this firearm was stolen from the vehicle. The vehicle is a C8. It has two magazines, each with 28 rounds. When the off-duty officer returned to his vehicle, he discovered that the vehicle was broken into. Currently, the Calgary Police Service Central General Investigations Section is canvassing the area extensively for CCTV footage, and that investigation is continuing. A subsequent investigation by the Calgary Police Service Professional Standards Section is also continuing to determine the breaches of the criminal code and breaches of policy and procedure for the Calgary Police Service. Last night, the Director of Law Enforcement for the Province of Alberta, the Solicitor General's Office, was advised of this situation in what is known as a 46-1 notification. ACERT has directed the Calgary Police Service Professional Standards Section and CJIS to continue their investigation. However, ACERT will be overseeing and offer oversight of this investigation. The Calgary Police Service holds its members to a very high standard. When it comes to public trust and public confidence, that is our commodity. The Calgary Police Service holds our members to a high standard, and when it comes to firearms, to a very high standard. This will be a firearms investigation to determine if there is any breach, just like any other citizen. And again, the Professional Standards Section will have oversight from ACERT. And if there's any questions.
Can you reiterate why the officer had the gun in his vehicle?
That's a good question. Again, the Calgary Police Service is held to a very high standard. These firearms are particular, and I'm talking about the patrol rifle, are stored in the district offices in a locked office and are locked in that office. When the officer that are assigned these, after going through extensive training with the patrol rifle, when the officer comes to work, they will pick up that firearm, take it to their vehicle. That vehicle will be locked inside of the vehicle with the cables that you see in the case in front of you. There is no reason in my mind why an officer would take this firearm home, to answer that question.
Are you investigating why that would happen? Are you also investigating how you searched people's vehicles? I understand that checkpoints were made.
It's my understanding, and this is through social media, that there was a canvassing of the area by the officers to determine, first of all, if any other vehicles were in fact victims of car prowling, and to check with citizens to see if they've seen or heard anything. Now, if there's allegations of anything like that, then that would become a separate Professional Standards Section investigation.
Have there been any allegations of illegal, inappropriate search of vehicles for the rifle?
Not that I've been made aware of at this time.
Was it cabled into the car? Were the cables?
It's the information I have at this time. Again, we're in the infancy stages of this investigation. The information I have at this time is it was not properly tethered inside of the vehicle. Currently, this member is in the process of being suspended, and this is a 3-year member that works out of District 3.
Suspended with pay, without pay?
At this time, with.
Were other cars broken into?
At this point in the investigation, there has been no other victims identified. So at this point in time, I would say no.
Do police need warrants to search in people's cars? Say, should these allegations come forward, did you need warrants to search somebody's car?
You know what? Everybody has an expectation of privacy, and if it's there's different parameters around search. So was it a consensual search or not a consensual search? If it was not a consensual search, yeah, we would need a search warrant.
Since there have been no other vehicles broken into, is it the belief that this vehicle was targeted?
And that's going to be part of our investigation as well. Was it targeted? If so, why? What was the motivation? You're going in the right direction. That's where we have to go in our investigation.
Would the thief recognize this, or?
I'm sorry?
Would the thief recognize this as being property of the Calgary Police?
You know what? It's quite possible. Yeah. At this point, I don't know. So the other part of what I want to say today is I'm asking for any members of the public, if they have any information about, first of all, where this firearm is at, who has this firearm. Secondly, who's responsible for taking this firearm out of the vehicle, to please come forward and contact the Calgary Police Service at 266-1234. Public safety is paramount for us. Safety of our officers is paramount now that we have a stolen firearm, and public safety is paramount to us. We really want information on where this firearm is at, and of course, if the media can help us get that message out, that would be greatly appreciated. But we need to find where this firearm is.
You might have answered this already, but can you state the make and model of the firearm and the vehicle?
It's a Colt, the firearm. It's known as a C8, and the vehicle that in question was a Subaru, and that's all I have in regards to the vehicle information right now. Sorry.
Can you say what the officer was doing? Why was he at Crowfoot at midnight? Was he in a restaurant or something?
It's our information that he was in the Crowfoot area, that he was at a restaurant. That hasn't been confirmed, and that's going to be part of our investigation to determine, in fact, where he was, what he was doing, who he's with, and all of that. So it's again, we hold our officers to a very high standard. And this will be an extensive investigation.
What should have been done in this case? What would have been the right procedure?
Leave it at work.
Would
Has
you
this happened before? An officer taking a firearm home in a private vehicle?
You know what, our officers, now you're talking about a firearm, like
something
this.
like this.
To my knowledge, no.
Okay.
To my knowledge, no. There is no reason for this firearm to go home.
Would you consider this, I mean, I know the investigation is
Right.
underway. Generally speaking, would this be a firing offense?
You know what? If I'll tell you what, if our investigation goes the way, if our investigation determines that there's any criminal code breaches that put the public at safety and officers at safety, this officer's career is in huge jeopardy.
And even your feelings of just hearing that this happened, if you could just, stupid?
Sick to
or-
my stomach. Sick to my stomach.
If a member of the public does find this case or this firearm, what direction is?
Good question. Thank you for that. If a member of the public does find this case or this firearm, please do not touch it. Call, you know what I'm going to say, call 911. And advise us where you're at, what you found, and we will have a car crew there immediately. Do not touch it. Do not try to make it safe. Just leave it as it sits. Do not let anybody else touch it until a professional officer comes and examines it. So thank you for that question. That was a great question.
I know you're on the start of your investigation as well, but are you also going to be focusing on gun shops in the city, shooting clubs as well?
You know what? We'll be looking at everything. There's not going to be a stone unturned on this. This will be a very extensive as far as that part of the investigation goes as well, and in regards to any breaches of the criminal code and internal policies, that will also be a very extensive investigation.
So did the officer have the keys as well, or do you think that the case might be just found locked?
Our information is that it would be locked, and that's going to be part of our investigation. Where are the keys? Who has the keys, and everything else. So that's all part of it. But that's a great question. Thanks.
Did you say where specifically he was having dinner, or you?
We haven't confirmed that right now, and I'm not going to speculate. That will come out in the investigation exactly where he was. So.
But has the officer told you it was locked?
Yes, our officer has told us the case was locked.
It could be easily unlocked though, couldn't it, if someone really wants to get into it?
If somebody's motivated, yes.
And where in the vehicle was the case? Like, was it in the trunk, front passenger seat, whereabouts inside?
You know what? We're just still trying to hammer down those details as to where it was in the vehicle.
What kind of damage can this rifle do? It looks like it's pretty impressive looking.
Well, it's a semi-automatic assault police rifle, so significant, if in the wrong hands, yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
An officer can take their sidearm. Can an officer take their pistol?
You know what? Sometimes officers do, so if they're working a night shift and they have court in the morning, but they are still subject to the same rules and laws that Canadian citizens are in regards to storage of it. But it is not, we do not want officers taking their firearms home. I'm going to say that right out, and I know that's going to create some controversy, but we do not want our officers taking their firearms home. There's nothing good that can come of that. Thank you very much.
Officers, sorry, do they generally take their handguns home?
Most officers leave their handguns at their office where they work. Yeah. Which is the smart thing to do. Thank you very much.
Yep.